for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep it nice and plain. Extravagance. The idea of extravagance requires a lecture of its own. But quickly, Allah says, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. Eat and drink, but do not go to excessive measures. Verily, Allah does not love those. To pay attention, Allah does not love them. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. And do not spend extravagantly. Verily, those who spend extravagantly are the brothers of the devils. The brothers of the devils. In one ayah Allah says He doesn't love them. In the other ayah Allah says they are the brothers of the devils. What do you want? After that, do we rent a 50,000 riyal home? You know? And coffee and tea, you know, by the thousands of riyals? Food which is thrown away? Just to make it, you know, it's all showing off, showing off. They know that the people will be, they bring no more kapsa, more kapsa, more kapsa, you know. And then what happens to the food, dear brothers and sisters? It is thrown away. Ni'mah from Allah Azza wa Jal. People are dying all over the world for a grain of rice. We go to a wedding and we throw maybe tons of food. It's thrown away every day during these weddings. Not allowed. When you have a marriage, you'd better know who's coming. And you can have a backup plan. If you see more people coming, you have a restaurant which you have a good connection with. Say, listen, I need food quickly. You have some sort of arrangement. But initially you bring enough food. If you bring extra food, then make sure you don't throw it away. Put it together in a container and then go give it to some needy people. There are actual organizations here which collect this food and they distribute it among the needy. On Arba'in Street, right off Arba'in Street. It's called Hifdh al-Ni'mah or something like that. Preserving the bounty of Allah. But under no circumstance are we allowed to what? Waste food. Take it easy. You know, strawberry cake and a chocolate cake and a vanilla. 80 different cakes. Tayyib ya akhi, there's only 20 people in the back. How many cakes can we eat? Unless you're going to put the cake in everyone's face. So you're hungry, brother? Here's a cake for you. Maybe eat one slice. Everybody's trying to lose weight nowadays. You can't afford to eat half a cake. You know, go home, you know, you can't even sleep. We have to stick to a diet also. So make it easy for the attendees that they don't, you know, ruin their diet when they visit you during their wedding. Keep it, you know, nice and clean. Mixing between men and women, needless to say, is not allowed. Now, again, some people may misunderstand the reality here. We're speaking about, you know, a brother and sister, you know, in other weddings, it's totally normal. Women actually dance in the middle of the stage and men are sitting and looking at them. This is amazing, by the way. You know, a person's wife, or soon to become wife, will be dancing in the middle among, you know, wearing her best clothes. And all these men are sitting there looking at his wife. Think, oh. And he's like happy, smiling. Oh, this is my wedding day. He's all... Brother, what happened to you? Where's your jealousy, man? How could you have someone look at your wife, or soon to become wife, and you're happy? And she's not wearing, you know, clothes. Respectable clothes. A man will never allow this. Never allow this in his whole life. Not even his wife to be seen among other men. You know, in a manner which is not befitting. She may show her face if you believe it's not an obligation to wear the niqab, no problem. But during a wedding, with the kind of clothes that they wear, you want the men and women to be mixing. You know, very often, people become attracted, you know, to that woman. Or the woman may be attracted to one of his friends, who may look better than her husband. He's wearing his nice clothes. Oh, I mean, this is big fitna, big fitna. People think this doesn't happen. This happens. Shaitan this is where he actually builds his homes. He builds his homes in destroying houses. How? By making the relationship not work. How? By the woman being interested in someone else, or the man being interested in someone else. That's the main reason why they will depart from one another. So when we do this, we are paving the way. Another evil habit is the husband goes to the women's section to supposedly take his wife or something, and he goes, you know, before many women that are not dressed properly. All this is not allowed. Music. Among the only times where you can beat to death with some young girls, with some nice chanting, is during a wedding. And refer to the lecture, the classical hit, It's Bad. We explained that this is among the exceptions. Actually, it is a sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ told Aisha, did you not take a young girl to beat the deaf? The Ansar love this kind of entertainment. So it's a sunnah to bring some young girls, very normal, you know, young girls, who will bring a deaf, and they may, you know, beat it in a very, you know, the deaf is like a tambourine without the bells. It's a very basic instrument, like a drum, but it doesn't have any special effects. And they may beat it by saying some nice things, some nice lyrics, This is the sunnah among the sisters. Among the sisters. If the men overheard, that's fine. Because there have been some references that the men heard it, but they were not mixed with each other. If the men hear, that's fine. But what happens today is the other way around. You'll find that in the men's section, this is where the disco is going on. And I went to a wedding and I tried to, forbid the evil and say, brother, this is not allowed, to do this and that. And then of course, my suggestion wasn't very welcome. They turned it off for some, time, then they went and turned it back on again. So I had to leave. So afterwards, I called the father, say, Barakallah Feek, I just wanted to, because that person had 2 weddings. It wasn't 1 wedding, it was 2 weddings. That's part of the culture. One time the family of the woman, and next time the family of the father, they have different dinners, whatever. So there was going to be another one. I figured I would at least notify him so they can avoid it the next wedding. And of course, I was told, brother, never call me again. Before I even got to speak. Never call me again. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, no problem. I can do that. I will never call you again, inshallah ta'ala. But the point being, and we were assuming these were practicing Muslims who would never show this kind of attitude. At least if you don't agree with me, say Jazakallah khair for the advice, I don't agree with you. But to become upset because someone is, showing you the sunnah, then this is very, hurtful to someone. Really, I was very hurt. May Allah forgive him. I still, he's still my brother in Islam. I wish goodness for him and for myself. But that wasn't befitting behavior. And I hope that you never do this to someone. Someone who advises you, if you don't agree with the advice, say Jazakallah khairan, I have my evidence, I appreciate your advice, but I'm following a particular teaching in Islam. But just to say no, because you don't, it opposes your desires, then this is very, very much unacceptable. Using gold and silver utensils. Salama radiallahu anha said, the one who eats or drinks from a vessel of gold or silver is putting fire in his stomach. Why is this important? Because how do they usually give you sweets? When the people go around giving you some chocolate and candy, it's actually usually in what? In golden or silver trays. So neither are you allowed to give them as a gift a golden or silver tray, because it will probably be used for, offering people some food. And you yourself, for the actual guests that come over, you cannot serve them using gold and silver utensils. Whether it's a tray, a plate, a spoon, a knife, a fork, any of that is not allowed. Otherwise you are putting fire in your stomach. This is for Jannah. If you like to use gold and silver utensils, then you will use it in Jannah. In this dunya, Allah has made it prohibited for the Muslims. So be careful of using them, whether you are a guest bringing a gift, or whether you are the host. Do not use them to serve people anything at all. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Tayyib. Honeymoon. Honeymoon? I don't know how much honey is there in the moon. I don't think there's any honey in the moon. But there's something I could tell you. In the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 5, is where you will find the reference for the honeymoon. So the first indication is that it's a Christian way of life, a Christian celebration. Secondly, what really happens in a honeymoon? People take a vacation from Islam. In a non-Muslim country, Paris, Hawaii, some very exotic place, with a bunch of kuffar, where they disobey Allah around the clock, because they are in an environment of disobedience. Alcohol is being served, all kinds of stuff. So people actually leave their home country, instead of going to Medina, going to Umrah, doing something which get them closer to Allah, they take a month honeymoon, spend all their money, and disobey Allah around the clock for a whole month. In non-Muslim country, where you're not allowed to go on tourism or for just entertainment. So we don't have any honeymoon. You like to go to Umrah? Barakallah.